Uh, Hello and welcome. Oh, I got my restarter because I have forgotten the. I just forgot the name of the show.
Casting
It has been
rules.
like it has been a month. Okay. Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you are enjoying the show, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. And if you would like to get more people and have a conversation with us, go ahead and follow us over on social media at Twitter at Casting Roles and at Facebook at Casting Roles ILM. And you can find our website with all of our information at castrolls.com. We stream here on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then videos are uploaded on Friday of the same week. But no other announcements. Let's go ahead and start the show. So, ticket takers. After trying to wrap up a few loose ends in Broadfield, you headed to the manor of Lady Haverly to help her with her missing cat, which was a displacer beast. Upon discovering that Lady Haverly was probably not such a noble woman, you returned her cat to her, unleashed it, and allowed it to have its revenge on the woman who had captured it. Then releasing her entire menagerie of mystical and some mundane creatures, you discovered a lost Kelpie among them, transforming into a little girl and named Miranda by Marlowe. You all offered to return her to her home in the Deepwood. Making your way to the familiar now to all of you Deepwood area, you waited until the evening, and using starlight were guided by Miranda into the forest, coming across a field of flowers, having a few of you getting knocked unconscious and having some weird visions. Miranda eventually led you towards a portal into the Feywild. Crossing over, you found yourself in the sunlit summer fields of the summer forest within the Feywild, and making your way across a grasslands, found a mysterious statue area, seemingly guarded by a very weird, creepy old woman. Uh, you tried to leave the area, and it seemed like the area didn't want you to leave. And you eventually made your way back to the statue where Saurus, Abel, Marlowe, and Alora all found themselves asleep and in the world of Robin Goodfellow, who offered you a deal to discover the true identity of a demon who had been plaguing both the Prime Plane and the Feywild. You agreed and awoke, and then continued on into the forest border between the summer and winter court lands, and made your way through a maze which challenged your intelligence and your willingness to face some of your darkest and deepest fears. Rising out of the pool of fear, you found yourself face to face with a creature claiming that if the fears could not destroy you, then it would devour you itself, as a shadowy drake figure rose from the darkness in front of you. So, ticket takers,
Oh
you're
yeah!
at the very
I remember this
beginning.
part.
Yes.
Mm.
Let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh, initiative. Can't we talk to it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can do that on your initiative turn. Let me get this set
No.
up.
Abel is deathly afraid of these dragon type things. Is that little Abel?
It is little Abel.
Ooh, look at the lighting.
Yes.
Ooh, that's so good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because you guys are in the Twilight lands now, so I thought we can have a little lighting
Ooh.
effects.
Would you say it's kind of a zone of Twilight?
Yes. See if I put
As a lighting designer, I approve of this plan.
Ooh, that's even better. Sweet. Okay, cool. All right.
I
So
like that. Yeah, that's better.
all right, so ticket takers, go ahead and let's see what our, this is where I'll cut back in probably. So ticket takers, what is our initiative source? What did you get there?
Oh, we're minus
26.
26 now. Let's see.
Natural 20, baby.
If anybody can beat Source there.
Glad I can't.
Let's see.
I can beat Source if I rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, you guys would probably have pretty
really?
similar initiative. You would beat him by 1 there. Mar, what'd you get?
I got a 17.
17. Okay, Kaimana.
23.
Oh, ooh, 23. Abel.
A 19.
19.
18 plus.
Wow, everybody's really high.
Damn, I thought my 17 was decent.
I know, and let me see what. Oh my god. Alyria.
Oh,
19
has
plus
she
what?
come out of the
20. She's not out of the pool yet, so you guys. Actually, I'm gonna pull her off the map. She's not out of the pool yet. You guys all came out of the pool, and the 4 of you were kind of sitting around talking, and realized that she hadn't joined you quite yet. And then that's when
Yeah.
this shadowy figure kind of attacked. So let me.
We're gonna have to go around without her.
Well, she'll probably pop out in a. We'll see how long it takes for her to pop out.
Okay.
I mean, unless she wants to, like, drown in the pool. So, all right.
Drowning pool?
Drowning pool. All right. You have to face your fears to get out. Maybe she hasn't done that yet. All right. So at the top of initiative with a 26, Saurus. You see this, this figure. It's kind of you have the pool behind you, and there's the bramble walls all around. And at the far end, you realize there's this shadow space there. And as you watch, all those shadows begin to kind of coalesce and form, and these shadowy wings kind of flip up, and just tendrils of shadow shoot off as it's taking form. And then its elongated neck and then its eyes open, and there are these flaming bluish red flaming eyes are appearing at you. And as this pops up, and it says, if your fears won't stop you, then I will devour you. You get to go first. So what action would you like to take there?
First, I'm going to use my movement to get around behind him so that I can get Mar flanking.
Now, as you kind of cross this zone here,
Yep.
the lighting, there's some torches here, and it's going
Yeah.
dim. You have dark vision, right?
Correct. Superior dark vision.
So do you want to get directly behind it?
Yep, as much as I can with my 45 movement speed.
And as you get back there, you realize you're kind of with your passive perception strong enough that as you're running by, you realize that all the bramble walls here are solid. There's no way through. But then the moment you get behind the Drake, you realize that it's backed up right against the only exit that you have seen from this space. So right behind you, there is kind of an arched doorway entrance there that you can see through. But now you're behind it, so what would you like to do?
Okay, I see.
First, I yell, "There's a door back here," and then I hit him.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your attack.
Nope.
Okay.
A natural 2 doesn't. It's
No,
even
I don't
with
think
my
so.
bonuses,
Yeah.
no. A 9 gets me nowhere.
No. So, do you want to flurry of blows or take an unarmed
I'm gonna take
hit?
a bonus attack.
Okay,
I'm not
go ahead and
flurry.
make a bonus hit on it.
Okay. Actually, no. I am gonna flurry of blows, so I can use my
Extract
Extract.
aspects. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
So, flurry of blows. Oh, for Christ's sake. Let's see. With my attack bonus, that's an 11 and a 13.
No. So you kind of kick out first with your first attack, and it's almost like the shadowy form kind of goes
It's made of
around.
shadows. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're kind of then you punch out with 2 more, and even with your dark vision, only being able to see kind of black and whites and darks and lights, it's melding so much with the shadows around that your next 2 hits just whiff through the air. So that's three misses. You do have a few more feet of movement, but you've kind of positioned yourself.
I'm
So
stay here to give flanking.
all right, sounds good. Kaimana, you're next.
Okay, I am going to get out of the pool.
Okay. Where would you like to head?
as I'm seeing the image, north.
Okay, this way.
Yes. There's good.
All right.
And I would like to cast Entangled.
Okay, and that's a saving throw.
I believe so. 20-foot square from a point within range. Yes.
Oh, okay.
A strength saving throw.
I was assume. Oops, hey Sully. I would assume you want to put it in a place where it's not going to affect Saurus.
Yes.
Give Sully a moment to calm down here. A 20-foot cube, you said, or 20-foot cube. So, if you want to put it on kind of like this side, so it gets the guy here.
Yes.
All right. So this area now has a entangling spell, and then go ahead and the saving throw is strength 14. Okay.
Yes.
That is. He rolled a 7 plus
Yeah.
6.
Doesn't make it. That's
13. No, that's yeah. So you're down. So he
Yeah.
is entangled, and so that means he cannot move. What else happens to him?
It means he is restrained by the plants and can use its action to make a strength check against the spell save DC.
Okay, so he's just restrained. Cool. All right.
Yes.
So he is
All that
restrained.
ground is now difficult terrain.
Okay, and so
Does
that
it give
area
any
there.
advantages to hit?
If he's restrained, then yes, you get advantage on your attacks. Double check really quick. A restrained creature become movement speed is 0, and attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Good, and his attack rolls have disadvantage. So good. All right, cool, awesome, nice move there, Kaimana. So everybody else kind of watches these like this energy escape from Kaimana's staff, and you see it kind of speed across the ground and into that darkness, but you see that bluish green energy from the spell kind of digging into the ground, and then you watch seaweed like plants, kelp, that you know like sprout up out of the ground and kind of wave in the air before they lash around the shadowy creature's form and kind of bind it down, and it kind of lets out a like quieter than you would expect a dragon probably, but this growling roaring sound at being restrained. Awesome. Anything else you want to do there with your turn, Kaimana?
I will turn to the water
Okay.
and say, "You're welcome."
Okay. There you go. So the water does not respond, but there you are. All right.
Well, everybody's still coming out of the pool.
That's
is
true.
who that's right.
Oh yeah.
Did the Selkie come out of the pool?
You did not see her do so, but
Okay.
you know, who knows what she's. She seemed immune to all of the other like fey things that you've come across, so she could have come out of the pool earlier. So you have not seen her yet, because this kind of hit you guys pretty suddenly. All right, up next, Alyria. Let me double check her saving throw. Nope. Still no sign of Alyria. Abel.
Oh, sure. I had to make sure I wasn't muted. So first things first, since Saurus let us know that there's a big opening in the back, I want to get out of there. So I'm going to take a wide breath along the outskirts of this bushy enclosure.
Okay.
As much movement as possible. I only have 30 feet though.
Okay, so this would be within 5 feet of the creature, so you are kind of skirting along the bramble wall here.
Well, let me look. Hold on, let me see, because like
That's as far as you can get if you want to move your full movement.
No. Okay, rewind. Go back. I'm gonna back into the corner.
Okay.
I'm a coward. Abel is afraid of dragons. I'm going to use an action to call up my force ballista cannon,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure this other thing is a bonus action. me see here. Yeah, this is a bonus. And I'm gonna use a bonus action to cast the Hex Curse.
Okay.
So, I can do some extra damage to him if he gets a little too rowdy.
All right. So he is now hexed. Figure out how to hang that off of his face. There you go. All right. So he
And
is
what
now.
does Hex do?
Hex gives one moment. I will read it for you. Gives me an extra d6 of necrotic damage whenever I attack, and one ability. I choose an ability that he has disadvantage on ability checks for. So
Which one do you want to give him?
his strength.
Okay. So he now has disadvantage on strength checks, which
Perfect.
might help
Is
since
it
he's
on the
entangled. Yeah.
Is it a strength check or a strength saving throw?
It's a saving throw, but yeah.
Oh well, I choose strength.
All right, that's good. All right. Anything else, Abel, you want to do there with your turn?
Nope.
All
I'm very
right.
afraid in that corner.
Which takes us to Mar.
I would like to wolf out.
Okay.
please.
So you go full wolf form.
I'm just gonna say rage. I would like to.
I mean, it's kind of raging.
It is a little bit, yeah.
And then I will just a quick stab into my own body to start this fight for me. I take 4 points of damage.
Woo.
Yeah, and then I would like to go up and hit it with my lightning sword, please.
All right. So you charge up. You would have advantage anyway because Saurus is giving you advantage, but he's also restrained. So go ahead and make your attack with advantage.
We'd love to see it. 2 15s. That gives me a 22.
All right, 22. So you swing out against this Drake, and you slice through, and right as it's about to make contact with the shadowy form, it does, but it's weird because it's like there's no resistance. You hit the shadowy form, you cut solidly through its body, you see wisps of its form kind of flake off. But then it kind of closes behind you almost like water, like you're slashing through water. But go ahead and roll damage.
Does it matter if I did it with the rapier wounding or not? Would that change the outcome?
No.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Did you do the lightning on your rapier or on the short sword?
It would have been on. Well, I have 2 rapiers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing it on the rapier wounding.
Okay, that's good. Yep. So you've got that. So what's the damage there?
So that is 8 points of damage.
And how much of that's lightning?
Oh, none of that's lightning. I forgot to roll for lightning. 4 points of lightning damage.
All right, so 12 points of damage. And it's hard to tell whether it takes the full brunt of the damage because like it rears back the moment you hit it, so it obviously is responding to the attack, but because its form is not solid, it's difficult to tell whether you're doing the full brunt of damage or not. But you made contact and you saw the lightning kind of shake into its body, and you hear like a sound, again quieter than a dragon you would think would make, but there. All right, good. Anything else you want to do there? You want to make another strike on it, Mar?
I cannot because I.
Oh, that's right. You activated, but it does. It is wounded from the rapier, so I'll go ahead and put the wound on it to remind me. All right, which takes us to the Shadow Drake.
Oh God.
All right, is this?
Strength saving throw if he wants to do that to try and break.
Yeah, I'm just kind of reading the way this works.
I I did roll his wound damage. He got a whole point.
A whole point of wound damage. All right, cool.
No, it's necrotic damage, I think, technically, but, you know.
Okay, yeah, it is necrotic. All right, I'm trying to read how this ability works with... Okay, this will break it without him having to make a saving throw. So you see him kind of like, you see his eyes close for a second, and then he gathers energy around him, and he seems to like melt through the floor, through the entangling vines. And then, Source, you see him reappear, like out of the shadows next to you on over here, and now he's blocking about half of the doorway with his form behind you. And that is his action. Oh no, he can take an additional move action on his turn, so that counts as his action. That counts as his move. Okay, and then he's lining up here with the two of you in front of him, and you see him kind of rear back and inhaling, and you see like the shadows in the air around him sucking into his mouth. And it's weird because like as that's doing it, the light from the other side of the room begins to expand in his direction, and you get a better sense of his shape and form. And then he blows out, and this swirling mass of shadowy energy shoots out for 30 feet in a cone. Saurus, 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So Kaimana and Abel, you're out of range. But Mar and Saurus, I need you to make dexterity saving throws. Which is Saurus's weakness, so...
21.
21, okay, you're good.
I rolled a 14 this time.
6.
What
Six,
is your
okay.
dexterity?
So-
What the world, man?
So
20.
Saurus, you take half damage from the breath attack, and then Mar, you take full damage from the breath attack.
Okay.
So Mar, you take 3 points of damage. And you feel this energy hit you, and it's like this in your head. You feel this like raging, scalding, shadowy thing, and it's weird because it's like ice and fire blasting across your body. And after it goes past, you're like, that was it? And then I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Oh.
15.
Oh, you're good. So for a moment you feel like, after you're like, well, that felt like it should have done way more damage than it did. You feel this like voice in your head just being like, you should calm down. But you like, your werewolf form's like, nope. And you push that away. And you don't. And so whatever magical energy was trying to invade your head passes. All right. So that is the Shadow Drake's turn. Saurus, back up to you.
I'm pondering.
Okay.
Deep thought.
Well, I'm wondering if this is kind of some kind of illusory-based creature.
Yeah, you were thinking the same
Okay.
thing. This is not a Shadow Drake.
Because it's not as loud. It's a trick.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go through the door.
Okay. So you use your movement to pass through the door.
Mhm.
And the moment you go through the door, everybody kind of watches. Anybody who can see with Mar, you have dark vision, and everybody does because Abel has his goggles. The moment you see, Saurus vanishes from sight. And then Saurus, you suddenly feel like you're underwater, and you pop out over here.
Okay, well, I will use my rest of my movement to charge to the south of him,
Okay.
so that Mar will be able to move to the north of him and flank him.
So you use 5, and you have 40 feet of movement?
45.
45. Okay, so 5. I'm going to move you around. I assume you would dodge the entangle.
Yeah.
So 5.
Actually, wait.
You can do it with your full movement and get around the entangle.
No, I don't have to, because Windfoot Celerity.
Oh, that's right.
Difficult terrain does not cost you extra movement.
There you go. Is there anything that he has to do entering into the entangling spell, Kaimana?
Nope.
I
All
don't
right.
think so.
Good. All right. Sweet. So you can get to his south there. All right. So that's your move. You just like Pac-Man'd through, on one side of the map and popped up on the other, and and then continued on. You're now you're there on the south side of the dragon. And so what would you like to do?
I'm gonna hit him first.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack.
Jesus Christ. 14.
14 misses.
Yeah, I've rolled a 2, a 4, a 6, and a 7.
But at least your dex saving throw was on point this time.
This is true. Apparently it's an opposite sketch.
Yes.
I'm going to flurry of blows again.
Okay, another key point.
Okay, another 7, but the other one is a natural 15, so that's a 22.
The second one will hit, so you go and roll damage on that one.
Okay. That's going to be 7 damage, and Monastery of the Four Winds. First of all, I'm going to impose the status that it cannot take reactions until the end of my next turn.
Okay.
And the extract aspect.
Which is vulnerabilities, right?
Pardon?
Is it vulnerabilities?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you punch in, and kind of similar to what Mar ran into, your fists do not connect with anything, but you, it's almost like punching through, if you could feel like punching through fog, it's like that, like this feeling of there's a slight resistance as you punch through, and as you come out the other side, a little puff of shadow flooshes off and then kind of disappears. But you do make contact. Again, it's hard to tell if you're doing a full amount of damage to it or not. But you are able, at the last moment, you open your fist and grab one of those pieces of shadow and pull back, and you focus your key, and you feel like flames, and it's vulnerable to fire.
So I yell that out.
Okay.
Abel, fire!
Well, okay, I have a firebolt. All right.
All right. So there you go, Saurus. Which takes us to Kaimana.
I am going to cast. Got this somewhere. Yes, I'm going to cast Create Bonfire. And this thing, where is it?
Okay. So right underneath it, you create the bonfire, and that's another saving throw, is it?
That is, yes, Dexterity saving throw 14.
Okay, no, that's a fail. That is no, because its dex is only +1, so that's a 12. So the fire appears underneath it. Go ahead and roll damage.
1d8.
Shadows don't like light, so
Nope.
this makes sense.
How much? How much did you say, Kamana?
4.
Oh, 4. Doubled, because he is vulnerable to it, to 8. So 8 points of damage. And you watch as... Let me see. Yeah, so this you see this burst of light underneath its feet, but then the shadows kind of consume it. You have a connection to the fire, so you know it's still there. But you can't see it anymore. However, in that moment, with your passive perception, Saurus, you're looking at the shadow, and there's a moment where, as the flames light underneath it, you look through, and it doesn't seem all there. And then that vision fades as it absorbs the light from the flame beneath it.
Alrighty.
You feel like if maybe you focused your attention a little bit, you might be able to glean more of what's happening with it.
Roger that.
All right. Anything else you want to do there with your turn, Kamana?
I will move forward along that edge.
All right. It's 15 feet.
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, which takes us to Alyria. Let's see how she's doing. All right. Finally, you hear a splash behind you, Mar, and coughing. Alyria pops up and pulls herself up, and she's kind of sitting there and you kind of focus, and then she looks up and sees everything that's happening, and she uses the rest of her action and movement for this round to kind of stand up and get a bearing of everything that's happening around her. And she looks across the way and sees the dragon, and she's like, oh shit. and she pulls out her weapons and her shield, and she's getting ready to jump into the fray on the next turn. So that takes us to Abel.
Okay. I would like to make a firebolt attack.
Okay.
So I'll pull out my flame igniter.
Everyone done.
And I'm going to shoot a firebolt at my guy.
All right, go ahead and roll attack.
Try aiming
16.
anywhere other than Shadow Dragon. You might hit it.
Anywhere in that direction, yeah. 16 plus 7, 23 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, and I have Hex up, so Firebolt does a D10.
Yeah, tell me. Roll the damage separately. So roll the fire damage and then roll the extra d6 separately.
Okay, so it's only 3 fire damage.
It's 6 because he's vulnerable to fire, so he takes 6 points of damage. Okay, and then roll the
and
hex.
I get an extra d6 from Hex,
which is necrotic.
Yes, 5 necrotic.
All right. Good. So again, you like shoot out, and you all watch as this like beam of fiery energy blasts across, kind of over Mar's head, and slams into the core of the shadow. And Saurus, after the first kind of thing, you're watching it pretty closely, and you actually watch as the flame like begins to pass through its body, but then as it gets towards the core, it kind of vanishes. But there's a moment where you realize like what you were seeing is that there's something in the middle of this creature that is solid, but the shadow around it was not. But then it reforms and kind of takes its more corporeal shadow form once the light is subsumed. All right, good. So Abel, good. Anything?
Is there such thing as like a investigate action like in battle, or like
Yeah, you can take an action to investigate. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's too late now. I do have a bonus action though. I want to use my Force Ballista for my bonus.
All right, go ahead and roll your attack.
Let me find him.
And that's
Advantage.
that's force damage,
No, no.
right?
No, actually, it's not advantage because he's no longer entangled. Sorry.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Also, the entanglement went away because it's concentration based.
Right, and you switched concentration over to bonfire. That's good. All right, cool. All right, so Abel, go ahead and roll your attack, and that's force damage. Okay, cool.
Oh, this is probably not. Well, 8 plus 7, a 15 to hit.
15 does not hit. So you kind of fire out with the force ballista, and you watch as it flies towards the creature, and it like its mouth is kind of open, like it's getting ready to release another blast of shadowy energy, and like the ballista like blasts into its mouth, and then out the back of its head, but it doesn't seem phased or affected by it at all.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay put.
All right, cool.
No. I said, can I move maybe a little bit closer to my buddy Kaima?
Okay.
Great breath weapon. Bad idea.
Yeah. All right. Up next is Mar.
I would like to move to the south of this thing and try to...
Like right next to Saurus?
No, north. Just kidding.
okay.
I forgot Source is right there.
That's
yeah,
fine.
I can
Yep.
be right there.
All right, so you're behind him now. You can't really see yourself, but you're back there.
Yeah, I trust you. And then I would like to hit him.
All right, go ahead and make your 2 attacks.
Okay. Do I have advantage right now?
Yes, you do have advantage because Saurus is flanking.
Great. That is gonna be 22.
That hits.
That is 9 points of damage. With 1 point of lightning damage.
10 points damage. Okay. And same thing, like, as you're slicing through, you like you feel like you're not making any contact, but like you feel the energy of the lightning displace through the creature, so you know that it's doing something, but you don't know how much. All right.
Well.
And then go ahead. And it is wounded again, so it now has a second wound. So your D4 is now 2d4.
Well, feel like me hitting it with my other rapier is not going to do much. But I'll do it anyway.
Okay.
Way to go, Marlo.
21.
21 hits.
Yep, same thing. 9 points of damage.
Okay, and this time when you're slicing through with the second rapier, while you were swinging with your rapier of wounding, you were like, I have no idea what this is doing. I don't feel like I'm making any contact at all. It is the most imperceptible difference that when you slice through with the second rapier, you feel like, oh no, this is like cutting warm knife with a butter. I'm not hitting anything. So you feel like, okay, it either took nothing from that second hit or maybe reduced damage from that second hit.
Rad.
Okay, but now you know that, like, okay, my first weapon is doing something. It's just hard to tell with what this creature is made of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, learning lessons.
Yes, the more you know.
I
All right,
know.
which does take us to the Shadow Drake. Let me see if it gets its breath weapon back. Yes, that is a 5. It gets its breath weapon back. You see it kind of sink into the shadows again beneath you, and then it's going to pop up behind you, Mar, on this side. And now it's aimed directly this way, and you see it pull back, and then it releases that torrent of shadowy energy again. So I need Mar and Source to make dexterity saving throws once more.
Now I'm talking. Nat 20.
Oh,
So that's a 27 on the saving throw.
nice.
What did you get, Marlo?
13.
So Mar once again takes full damage.
I'm not as
and-
light on my feet in werewolf.
Not today. And Source, you take half damage. So once again, Mar, you take 4 points of damage. And so Source 2, but Mar, you do need to make another Wisdom saving throw.
Josh, I have a question. Is this being charmed? Would I have advantage?
Oh, right.
Half elf?
Yes, you would have advantage. It is a charm.
Good, because I rolled a 3.
No.
Oh, there we go. That's gonna be an 18.
Okay, so once again, you're like, this should have hurt a whole lot more, and then you hear this voice in your head that's like, it can stop hurting entirely, and then you're like, fuck that, and you just get you shrug off the effects of it again.
That's exactly what I.
It's interesting because the voice that you hear in your head, this is the second time you've heard it. You heard the dragon speak when it first rose up. It was like that, if your dreams, I'll eat you, whatever. This is like, it doesn't have to hurt anymore. Like this tinkly little voice in your head. All right. But that is the Shadow Drake's turn. Actually, hold on. Let me double check. No. So it can take it gets 3 of these, and it already did 1 last turn. So you see it meld into the shadows again, and then it's going to pop up back here. So, Abel, you watch it kind of sink into the ground, and you're like, oh, everything's fine. It's gone. It's run away. And then you turn around, and it's breathing behind you there with its burning eyes.
I just picture Abel being like Cartman, singing Kyle's mom is a big fat bitch.
Why are you guys saying anything?
No.
She's right behind me, isn't she?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So now you turn around, Abel, and you see the burning eyes right behind you, and your worst nightmare, this dragon, is now face to face with you.
Yes. And a little bit of pee comes out.
Yep, which takes us to Saurus up at the top again.
How far away from me is the Shadow Drake? How far can I get to it?
Yeah, this room's only 50 feet across, so you can pretty much clear the whole room.
All right. What I want to do is go charging across, and I want to charge into the shadow to tackle what is ever in the middle of it.
Okay, so go ahead and make a. Let me see what I wrote for that. Okay, so make just a dexterity check as you're charging into the creature.
20.
20.
Not
Okay, so there's a moment where you like step into the creature's space and you feel like this repulsive energy kind of like pushing in your direction, but you're able to kind of you like realize that it's like almost coming in waves, and you are able to sidestep beyond the repulsive force, and you feel it kind of blast out to the edge of where the shadow's keeping its shape, and then you charge forward and your vision goes completely black in the shadow, but then you kind of you jump out and tackle through, and once you feel something, and do you grapple it?
Yes.
Okay, so you grab it, and then you are repulsed out, and you splash into the water here, but then you bob up, and in your grasp is a creature, maybe 2 feet tall, female in appearance, blue-skinned, greenish hair, and fluttering like butterfly-like wings behind her, and you've got her in your grasp there. And Abel, since you're like staring at this dragon like face to face, you see it shrink down in size. So maybe if it was like 100% in size, it kind of shrinks down, and you're like a third of its height drops. So it was like 10 feet, and now it's 7 feet.
Okay. All right.
All right, so Saurus, you've now got this wriggling pixie creature in your grasp.
We're trying to bring back one of your own. We're not staying.
And it opens its mouth, and it like lets out this like tinkling, discordant sound of like bells and whistles, and you don't know exactly what it's saying, but it looks pretty angry.
No.
Kaimana?
All right. All right. Anything else you want to do there with your turn, Saurus?
No, I think I've done enough.
All right, good. Kaimana, you're up. So you see Saurus dive through the dragon, and then pop out the side with this creature in his grasp.
And the dragon's still there?
Yeah, the dragon's still there, but you do notice that it's not as big as it was a moment ago.
I'll cast Shillelagh.
Okay. So your staff is now magical and empowered, and then you want to go up and hit it?
Yes, I bonk it.
All right, you go up and bonk it. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
The dragon or the creature in my hand?
Yes.
Both? You can't do both. The dragon?
Creature
Oh, okay. You go up and bop the creature in Saurus's hands. It is restrained, so you do have advantage on the attack.
14.
14. Let me check. Yep, that does hit.
Oh, advantage.
Yes, with
Let's see if I
advantage. Just
get
make sure it makes a 20.
19.
19. Okay,
No.
that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll your D8 attack with your shillelagh.
12.
12 points of damage. So this little creature is sitting there kind of like screaming in this like discordant like bells and whistles sounds, and you bop it over the head, and it like blinks for a second and then like turns to you, and you don't know what bells and whistles sound like, but they are definitely curse words in your direction, as it's still bound by Saurus there. But nice solid whack on the, the creature's head. Anything else there come on with your turn?
Stop it.
All right, so that takes us to Alora, who's surveying, now gathering her bearing around her and seeing everything. She's gonna reach out and cast at the dragon. I don't think she will. You all don't seem super concerned, except for Abel, who just peed himself. So let's see. She can do
a very respectful amount of.
Just do Sacred Flame. So she Sacred Flames at the dragon, which does not make, it's not making any of its saving throws. Doesn't make a saving throw. So you watch behind you, Abel, as this like radiant divine energy kind of bursts from within the dragon, and you see this flare of light, and there's a moment where like backlit within the dragon, you see clearly two shapes, but then it vanishes and the dragon takes damage from that. All right, 5 points of damage from that. All right, cool.
I feel like we're fighting 3 halflings in a trench coat.
Yeah, that's what it is. Big
All right.
shadowy trench coat.
All right, Abel, it's up to you.
Okay, so it would be an action to disengage, right?
Yes.
I want to just kind of back up a little bit. I'll take the opportunity attack.
Okay. Natural 20.
Well, first, can I investigate first and then do my movement?
Yeah,
Take
sure.
an action.
Yeah, you can make an action to investigate.
Yeah.
And then you get hit really hard.
Yeah. Then you got the nat 20. Yeah.
I'm in love with the shape of you.
You don't have rights to that one.
Natural 1 plus
Nope.
6.
So like your terror at this dragon being in your face prevents you from getting a good
weird.
look. And so in fact, that terror is what makes you decide to back up. And you see this giant claw raking out of the shadows in your direction and makes full solid contact with the side of your face. And you feel like the energy of it like whip your neck to the side as the claws rake across your face, and you're like, this is it. And then you pull up and there's no blood. There's no anything. You took 3 points of damage.
Oh, man.
Does he have to make a wisdom saving throw?
No. It's only the breath weapon.
Okay. Can I use my bonus action for my force ballista?
Sure.
Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Where is it? And natural 20 right back.
Okay.
27 total.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, it should be 4d8 plus 4. So I have 24 force damage for the crit.
Okay.
And then a d6.
Yep.
For the necrotic. 1 necrotic.
Okay, let's see. I'm calculating angles here. Hold on. All right,
And then
Abel,
so-
roll a
okay, fine.
d6 for me.
Roll a d6.
A d6,
again?
yeah.
A 1.
Okay, so that is Marlowe. So as you fire this force ballista, you see like this force energy blast, from you, the 15 feet,
my God.
and it's bigger and stronger than you've ever fired this before. You're like, yes, full power blast of this force ballista, and you see it flare out, and the moment it impacts the side of the dragon, you see it for a moment kind of coalesce there, and then you get a full glimpse of the energy shield that is actually creating the shape and form of this dragon lit up by your force ballista before the blast bounces off and flies past your head, and flies off into the other direction. Marlowe, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I don't think it's gonna do it. 14.
14. So I'll see what the...
You know what made my force ballista so powerful? The little piece that Kamana broke off of it while I was asleep.
There you go.
I thought you-
Hear him.
One of the regulators to the
Yeah.
power cell or something.
14.
I thought you were saying that what made it be so powerful was your pee.
That's also where my brain went.
So that did beat the DC. So because I rolled a 13 on the attack on that. So you are watching and you're like, yes, Abel makes solid con, no, and you dunk out to the side as this ballista blast fires past you like a Kamehameha wave.
And my hat gets blown off, and I just grab it and put it back
Yes,
on.
and you grab it and put it back over your ears, and you see it kind of go out the door behind you, and then pop out of the water behind Saurus and flare up into the night sky like a firework blasting off into the Feywild night sky.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. So
I turn around and Marlo, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
force damage reflected. So
It's good to know.
all right.
Put that one away.
Good. Which takes us to Marlowe.
Did I see the little beings in there?
From your
Or not-
distance, just make a perception check for what you saw with what Saurus was doing?
21.
21. So yeah, so you didn't, you're probably too far away to have seen like the creatures from within the dragon, but you did watch Saurus dive in, and when he dived back out, you caught like the distinct like butterfly blue wings of a creature in his grasp. And you know enough of the Feywild to be like, that's a Fey creature of some kind that Saurus pulled out of the inside of this dragon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out if I would make the connection to go inside it. Trying to figure that one out. Or if that's like.
You did watch as after Saurus popped out of it that the dragon shrank down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go inside the dragon, please.
Okay. What's your movement speed?
It is 30. Can I get to it?
30 would get you here.
Okay. Then I will chill there
Okay.
for this turn. And what I will do is... I don't think this is going to work.
Dodge.
Well, I don't think this is gonna work. I'm gonna try it because this is magic. I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna work. No, I'll just hit it with my lightning sword.
Okay, yeah, you are just within range of hitting it, so you can go ahead and do that. Also, I forgot to have you do this. Roll the 2d8 for the damage from its turn.
Oh,
Last
is it
time.
a D8 or D4?
Oh, sorry, the 2d4s. I was thinking 8. Roll the 2d4s.
I was
Yeah.
gonna get really excited. 3.
3, and that happened before Saurus pulled the pixie out. Cool. All right, so 3 points of damage. All right. All right. So then you go ahead and make your attack against the dragon.
So it is a pixie.
17 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
We lost Kaimana.
Oh no.
No.
I got is 8 points of piercing damage and 4 points of lightning damage.
All right. So good. So use it 8 points of damage, Mar. All right. Cool. So, and again, like you can now acknowledge that it is doing damage to the creature. So you slice through. And for the first time, you kind of realize that, like, whatever energy seems to be holding these shadows in place seems to be diminishing just a little bit. And there's a moment where, like, elements of the shadow kind of flicker and aren't able to hold quite as well. So you can see that it's approaching that amount of damage.
Okay.
All right, good. Which takes us to the Shadow Drake. Let's see if it gets its breath weapon back. No. Which is great because there are like 4 of you.
Yes.
So it is going to seeing itself kind of getting caught in here, it sinks into the ground and it's going to pop up over here against Abel on this side. And it's going to make 2 attacks. One, it's going to bite down at you, Abel, and then also try to hit you with its tail. It's going to whip it around and kind of slam you. First one, 19 to hit with the bite, and the second one is the second one's a 7 to hit. So with the bite,
Second one doesn't.
yeah, you 19. You could shield, I guess.
Yeah, can I cast? Do I want to? I'll just take the damage.
Okay, good. So like this dragon like pops up in front of you, and you see it lunging down with its teeth, and like it sinks into the like the meat right above your collarbone between like your neck and your shoulder, and you like it clamps down, and you feel no puncturing, no wounding of any kind, and it does 2 points of damage, but go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw.
thought that was just with the breath weapon.
This is a different one. The bite has a different one.
Saving throw.
Mhm.
Jesus. Let's see. A 13.
13. So after this attack, so even like in your head, you're like, that didn't hurt at all. As it's wheeling back, you can see its piercing eyes burning into your, like making direct contact with you. And even though like your logical brain is aware of the fact that that did not hurt you as much as it should have, or remotely as much as it should have, you are frightened until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
So any attacks against the creature have disadvantage, and you cannot move towards it. Any movement that you have would have to be away from it.
Is he obligated to move away from it?
He does not have to, no.
I usually probably would move away from it.
So there's that bite, like, put a fear within you of this creature.
Okay.
All right?
Frightened. You can add the frightened condition in D&D Beyond.
Yes, you can. All right, which takes us to Saurus.
I hold the pixie under the water.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check to see if you can maintain the grapple on the creature.
I want it to pass out, not die.
Okay.
I rolled 18, which is an 18 with my strength.
All right, yeah, that's good. So you're able to overpower the creature. So you feel it's struggling, and you like put it down in the water, and you just hear under the water and the bubbles there. I mean, over the course of 6 seconds, probably not enough time for it to pass out, but you've got it now under the water, ready to go. So probably maybe in the next round or so, it would be in that place.
Okay, I look to Kaimanu and say, get the next one.
We're waterboarding combatants now?
All right. Kaimana, it is your turn. So there you go.
I'll get the next one.
Okay, so you're going to try to dive into the dragon?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make a dexterity check as you approach the edge of the dragon. 21. So the same as when Saurus went in, you get the feeling, like as you're going, you like get the feeling of like waves of shields coming from the center of the dragon, kind of flashing out, creating this shape, and you are able to kind of dodge past one of the waves, and you get in, cannot see anything, but you bump into something, and then the moment you grab it, you are expelled out this side, and in your grasp is not a creature with like butterfly wings, but this creature with these like long, slender, kind of pointed wings, greenish in color with like a shock of like spiky white hair and like very sharp teeth. And it's also kind of cursing and shouting at your direction. And Abel, with the dragon right in your face, and anybody else looking at the dragon, see it shrink down even more. And where it was, like 10 feet tall, went to 7 feet tall, you now have like a little 3 foot tall shadow dragon there in front of you.
A little buddy.
Yeah. All right. So you're gonna hold on to that creature there, Kaimana?
Yes.
All right. So you've got that grappled in your hand.
Move maximum distance away from Shadow Dragon.
All right, cool. Which is you can get to there. All right. And then Alora, kind of looking at all this really confused, is just going to throw out another Sacred Flame, which the creature resists. So that doesn't take any effect. All right. Abel. So now the dragon is shorter than you, but you are also still scared of it.
Okay.
It's still a dragon!
It's a dragon!
This shit is crazy. Changing sizes and...
Oh, Mar, sorry. While Abel's thinking about what to do, go ahead and roll those 2d8. Actually, it's three d4s, not 8s. 3d4s.
Six.
6. Okay. So me think about. All right, that one had not come out yet. All right, so that energy kind of pulses through the dragon on its turn. Saurus, what you notice as you've got the creature under the water is this has actually happened before you put it under the water. You notice like a little wound on its shoulder, like opens for a moment, and a little blood starts pouring off of its shoulder. So there you go.
He's injured.
Now I just feel bad.
All right.
But not that bad.
No. So Abel, what are you doing on your turn?
Can I cast the? I don't know what I'm doing. Can I cast the cantrip Blade Ward? So with the end of my quarterstaff, I trace the Blade Ward sigil in the air. To give me resistance against stuff.
Is it piercing damage or slashing damage or
piercing, slashing damage?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you now have resistance to those things.
Yeah. So that's my action.
Okay.
And then I will stay where I am.
All right.
That's all.
All right. You don't want to fire your Force Ballista again?
No, because then it'll hit me.
All right. It doesn't have to necessarily hit
on
me.
the back of the head and free the pixie, and then it'll make the thing grow bigger again when it rejoins its friend. So no.
All right. I did forget to roll initiative for the pixie, but I'll just say it goes on the Shadow Drake's turn. Mar.
I'd like to go in, please.
All right. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check.
Not one.
So, Marlo, you're like, okay, you've seen Saurus and Kaimana both do this. So you charge forward, and then you're like, oh, there's a force field, and you get launched this way, and you land prone on the ground about 10 feet away from the dragon, where the kind of that force field ejected you out of its space.
Ow. Can I try again?
Let's see. It takes half your movement to stand up. So you used 5 feet. So you have 15 feet of movement left. So yeah. So you could try again. Go ahead and roll another dex check.
What's my dex? 23.
Okay. Yeah. So this time you dodge out of the way and you charge in, and it's dark, but you crash into something and grab it. And the moment you do, Abel, you watch as the dragon disappears from sight. And
Yes. Get him, Ma. Get him.
and then in your grasp, Mar, is another creature with like butterfly-like wings, purplish skin tone, with like this flaming shock of red hair. Also cursing and screaming in your direction in this discordant bell tone. But the dragon is now gone. All right. So you've got that grasped. So it takes us to the dragon's turn, which is technically the pixies and sprites' turn. So let me go ahead and pull them up really quick. So Saurus, you've got yours restrained. Nope, with a 3, it does not break out of its restraints. Kaimana, the one in your hands, as it's cursing in your direction, you suddenly feel like this energy of a spell being launched in your direction from the pixie. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Y'all know Kaimana is wise.
Kaimana the Wise.
10.
Oh wait, hold on. It's not a wisdom saving throw. It's a.
Oh.
So it might be better. Hold on. Oh no, it is a wisdom saving throw. So 10. So that is a failure. So anybody looking in Kaimana's direction, where he's got grasping this sprite in his hand, you see Kaimana like disappear, and in his place there's like a small mouse running around on the ground, and the sprite is now free and is like flying around the room and kind of flying in your direction now, Saurus, because you've got his friend underwater. but that's its turn. And then Mar, the one you just grabbed, it's going
I should have
to.
held a reaction.
Let's see.
No, I could have done that. I could have done that.
You're close enough to Abel that this should be there. Oh, it's. So 7. Abel, how many hit points do you have remaining?
28 or something.
28. So it will hit you, but there's not enough energy to carry on to Mar. So Mar, you've got this pixie in your hand, and you hear like this discordant melody begins to almost sound like a lullaby, and the energy spreads out from you, and next to you, you see Abel slump to the ground and start snoring asleep.
There's no saving throw or anything to
So,
this?
from my perspective, I look one way. I watched Kaimana turn into a mouse. I look the other way. I watch Abel fall asleep, and I just look at the pixie in my hand and go, "Fuck you."
Let me just double check if there's a saving throw. I don't think there is, because I think it's just based on number of hit points.
I believe it is.
Yeah, it's just based on the number. Like, you roll a certain number of hit points, and you can affect that many creatures. It only rolled 30, so it could only affect you. So there you go.
Wouldn't have affected me anyway.
No, yeah, so
Okay.
you would have said, yep.
I had a
So you still have the one restrained, and Saurus, on this turn, you start to see like the bubbles popping out of its mouth are decreasing, and it's struggling much less. You're getting the feeling that it's probably on the verge of passing out.
All right, and I see this other one flying towards me.
Yeah, it's coming. It's still like 20 feet away, but it's flying in your direction. Yeah.
That's okay. I just dive under the water while still holding on to the one I've got.
And yeah, your turn was next, so that's fine. So you dive under the water. There is an energy that's trying to kind of push you out of the water. So go ahead and make just a dexterity check to see if you can kind of swim against that current.
Oh yeah, that's a 24.
Yeah, you're fine. So you're able to kind of maintain underground.
I don't need to go down. It's kind of like if you've ever seen a bullet shot into the water after like a foot, it dissipates all energy. So
Yeah.
I don't have to stay far below it.
No.
If this thing tries to punch me or whatever, it's not going to do any good.
Yeah, and you're holding your breath, and you can hold your breath for minutes, so you're going to be fine. All right, cool. Kaimana. There's a free pixie or sprite flying around. I'll put a. It's right here right now. And Kaimana, you are a mouse. So let's see.
Can the mouse cast spells?
No, polymorph, because polymorph is different than wild shape. He loses all of his intellect. Let's see. So you can make a wisdom saving throw, I think, to bust out of it. Let me double check. No, you are trapped there until you take damage. All right, but you are a mouse, so you can choose what you'd like to do there, Kaimana.
Is all of my gear still on my person?
Yeah, technically it like gets absorbed into you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if I dropped them amongst all of it, I would try to find some cheese.
Yeah. No.
No, I will root around in the undergrowth.
Okay, so go ahead and make a you can either like really be focused and make an investigation check, or you can make a perception check.
Make an investigation check.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll an investigation check. 1. Yeah, it's really difficult to tell. Like, it's really dark over here. There's like weird smells. You don't find anything of interest.
End of my turn.
There you go. And what does your mouse look like,
Sweet.
Kaimana? What do you want your mouse to look like?
What do you mean it's a mouse?
So it's like a little white mouse, or is it a little brown mouse, like Kaimana?
It's got Kaimana's color.
Okay, good. So this little brown mouse with the kind of the shock of lighter color on its chest. Good. All right. Good. That takes us to Alyria, who sees the little creature coming and is going to
Hit it!
Yeah, she's gonna charge up in its direction, and she's actually gonna try to grapple it. And with her strength, this probably won't be a problem. famous last words. Nope, that was a 19. So she kind of jumps up and grabs the creature in her hand and pulls down, and she covers its mouth so that it can't speak, so that it can't release any spells. And she now has the other creature in her grasp. Abel, you are asleep. So that's there goes your turn. And then let me see, I don't think there's a saving throw at the end.
They'll get some hit points back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you would have been immune to the spell anyway, Mar, because you are Fae. That's right. Yep. Hit points. Nope, you're just asleep. All right.
Great.
So they have taken out 2 of your party members with their little spells. Mar.
I would like to hold up the one that I'm holding,
Uh-huh.
and I would like to just take my claw and just like bitch slap it across the face.
Okay. Are you going for like a lethal hit or just a warning hit, like a knockout hit?
I mean, I know what my heart wants.
Okay.
So lethal.
Lethal. Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
I mean, listen, they're trying to kill my. To my knowledge, Kaimon is permanently turned into a mouse. I don't know what magic is.
Yep.
I'm asleep in the Feywild forever, so yeah, just.
It was a 15 for me.
Okay, 15. Let me double check. You have a pixie. 15 does not hit. So, although you have advantage because it's restrained, so go ahead and roll again.
Not 20.
Okay, yep. So, go ahead and roll your damage.
A pissed off Mar in werewolf form. Yeah, that's not going to end well.
So I've done max damage, and I have done 18 points of damage.
Okay, so you slash into this creature and you feel it go limp in your grasp, and you can feel like just the faintest heartbeat that is slowing down. It'll be dead in the next couple rounds, probably.
Okay, I drop it on the ground.
Okay, so you drop it to the ground. It takes no, it doesn't.
It takes fall damage.
Yeah, because it's such a light creature and does have wings. It kind of does like it's not maple tree seed fall, where it kind of spirals slowly to the ground and it clumps into like kind of the grass on the ground. Does not take damage from the fall. All right.
See,
What if I had really thrown it down though? Like, what if I really just like?
Then it would take damage from the fall. So
Alright.
it loses a death saving throw. All right. So all right. Which takes us to the Shadow Drake is next. So that's the picks. And so the one in Alora's hand, like watching this happen, kind of just freezes and then looks at Alora and behind her hand in common says, please, we mean no harm. We're with the Summer Queen. And Alora's like, wait, what? And removes her hand, and she's like, we're with the Summer Court, please, don't kill us. And then the one in your grasp, Saurus, you feel it kind of go limp. It's now unconscious in your grasp.
Okay, I swim back to the surface.
Okay, all right, so you pop up, and it's still breathing very shallowly, but it is on the verge of death.
I lay it down on the shore. It's still alive. So
Okay. All right.
I don't need to. I'm not trying to kill it. I'm just taking it out of action.
It is unfortunately bleeding out, as I must remind us.
Oh yeah, it has to make a death saving throw. Hold on. Oh, yeah, good. It makes its death saving, so there's still just one failed death save on the pixie that you had. All right. So everybody in the area who is awake heard that call out. So if you would like to continue in combat form, you can treat this continuously as combat, or we can now go into conversation and that. However you want to focus on this. Mar, what would Mar do?
I look at the little pixie that's spoken, I believe.
Yeah, the one in Alora's hands is Sprite, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can murder you in a second. What are you talking about?
All right, good. So let me go ahead and shift back away from the battle map really quick. All right, so ending there. So go ahead and Marlo roll a intimidation check with advantage, because it did just see you kill one of its friends.
17.
So it kind of it looks up and says, "We promise we mean no harm, but please let me help my friend. Help me, please." And
Restore our friend.
Alora looks at. Oh wait, so the one that you just knocked out was the one that hit.
No, the one that Alora has was the one that Kaimana had because it flew away.
Okay, good.
I have the one that I initially grabbed.
Good. So Abel then would you'd actually like the sleep spell fades.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And you see her close her eyes for a second, and then Kaimana pops out of the ground nearby, like some leaves in his mouth. And Kaimana, you were just like you were like, I was just a mouse, but like not wild shape. Like I was really a mouse. And so now you're there. And so she says, please.
Let it go.
All right, so Laura releases her, and she goes over to her friend, and you see her pull out a small vial from a pouch, and she lifts it up to his mouth, and she pours this bluish liquid in, and you see kind of this blue energy pulse down the creature's body, and then it breathes, and its wings flutter a little bit, and it rises up. It says, are we not fighting anymore? And the other one goes, no, we're not.
Do you want to fight? Because we can totally fight.
No, not at all. I assume you're the one that you knocked out, Mar. Kind of. I assume that you're with the Unseelie Court.
Oh, I transformed back. No, we're not even from here.
Oh.
We were returning someone who lives here.
So you're from the mortal plane, traveling in the Feywild. That okay? We're sorry. And he's trying to get his breath because like we're still recovering from being healed. Yeah. And then so the one that the female, the purplish pixie, like no. We were sent on a mission by the court to get revenge on some creatures from this side who came into our lands and killed some prize rabbits of the queen.
Not jackalopes.
Oh no, those are unseelie creatures. And so we had just crossed over, and we saw you coming out of the Lake of Remembrance, and we felt that we should defend ourselves. We thought you were from the Unseelie Court, but we apologize for the miscommunication.
Okay.
Is she all right? And she's looking in the direction of the one that you have, Saurus.
She's still breathing. She's just passed out. You might want to see to her, though.
Okay. And she flies over, and she checks the creature and is able to determine that she's just kind of unconscious. And so she kind of pats her a little bit, and you see this energy kind of go from her hand into her, and there's this like moment, and the other one blinks its eyes open and sits up. And so now you have two pixies and a sprite kind of in your area, checking on one another and making sure each is okay, having come into the Twilight lands between the Unseelie Court and the Summer Court on a mission. And we'll go ahead there and take our 10-minute break at the conclusion of the fight, and we'll be back in 10 to see what you all decide to do with them. But we'll be back.
Yep. Thank you, Tan.
All right, so ticket takers, after traversing into and through the Fey maze that separates the winter and the summer sides of the Feywild, you were attacked by a large, shadowy dragon creature that, after a few rounds, you realized was not quite what it seemed. And dispatching or grappling and restraining the 3 Fey creatures that were creating this illusion, you kind of came to a quiet peace, and they are now flitting around, kind of checking on each other, making sure their wounds are healed up. And you notice, like, all of them are checking these necklaces around their neck. And the one that you hit, you notice, like, they're checking the necklace, and they're like ruby necklaces, and the one on its neck is cracked, and they're like, this is not good, and they're just kind of talking amongst each other. So Tika is there. What would you like to do?
I look for our Selkie friend.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception 13.
13. Okay, so you're kind of looking around in your area over by the pool, and you kind of glancing around, and finally, like, you look up to the top of the bramble wall, and you see just like a greenish algae covered chipmunk sitting up on top of the algae wall, just looking in your direction.
Miranda, would you care to go home now?
And the Miranda kind of looks in your direction as the chipmunk, and then bounds down the wall and over in your direction. And as it kind of hits the base, you see her kind of shift form, and the little girl kind of steps up, and she says, "We're almost there."
Lead on.
And she kind of looks in the direction of the door. It's locked.
How do we unlock it?
She glances at the 3 creatures nearby.
Hey, open the door.
Of course. I guess we're going through there as well, but with let me look at their names really quick. Which one got injured? Hilariously, you're crackling there, Saurus, a little bit. Hilariously, the one that got injured, with Touch Me Not out of commission, I feel like we won't be able to succeed on our mission. And the other one goes, Aster, it'll be fine. The Queen is very forgiving this time of year. And Touch Me Not's like, yeah, I don't think you know her quite like the rest of us. She's got a temper. But I guess we can unlock the door for you as well. And so the bluish one kind of flies over to where the door is. And you don't see necessarily any magical nature there. But you see she takes out like this pouch of dust, and she throws it up into the air. And as it rains down in front of the door, you see... what was hidden from your view was like one of those shadowy, kind of foggy entrances, and that comes into view, and then she just holds up the little ruby around her neck, and this energy shoots out, and the fog fades, and the door is now clear.
Thank you.
Right. Off we go. Good luck on your mission.
Can I turn to Touch Me Not real quick?
Like, you turn, and he backs up a little bit in the air and flits away from you a little bit.
Sorry I fucked you up in your necklace. To be fair, one of you tried to mind control me twice, so I don't feel that bad about it, but slightly.
We're sorry for the misunderstanding. We thought you were coming from the bad side, and I see now that we are traveling in the same direction.
Cool. And Ma.
Touch Me Not. That's Larkspur, and Aster is our leader. And the bluish one is Aster, and the purplish one is Larkspur.
Cool. Bye, Touch. I leave.
Okay. All right. So you all
So
make
we
your way
follow Marlo.
through. All right.
I'm
so
gonna whisper to touch me not that.
Okay.
That's really impressive. She said multiple words.
Oh, well, I was mostly terrified, but I'm glad that she's growing as a person.
It means she doesn't actually want to.
I have superior hearing and I can hear you.
All right. Okay. So you leave. The you leave the troop of the summer court troop in the area, and you head out. Beyond this wall, like where the bramble maze basically had been forming up around you, once you cross through this boundary, it kind of fades behind you, and you take a few steps, and all of the bramble walls sink back down kind of into the dirt a little bit and vanish from view. And you found yourself in a very different forest. So while the summer forest was bright and vibrant colors with shafts of sunlight shooting down through the there, and like the warmth and the smell, immediately this kind of chill goes across you. The trees here are all much bluish and purplish in color, with like faint firefly light flaring in the distance. And Mar, you kind of immediately recognize like this kind of terrain before. This is the very similar forest to what you came through the first time on your journey as a member of the Order.
Tropical trees.
Yeah. And there's no clear path ahead of you, but the Miranda is kind of is walking ahead, and she's looking up to try to kind of get a clear view of the sky. And there's a couple places where the canopy is just bare enough that she's able to kind of see. And she looks up. She's this way, and she's kind of heads off through the underbrush and through these trees, heading in that direction. So whoever's leading, Marlo, are you going to lead the charge through?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make a perception check for the first leg of the journey.
I will assist.
Yeah, with Kaimana's help.
23.
23. Okay, so you, as you're kind of walking through, like, immediately, like, you don't have hackles, but like your hackles are up.
That's normal for Marlo.
Yeah, there's a you get the feeling that like something is watching you, but glancing around, you don't see anything. But for the first leg of the trip, Miranda seems pretty sure about her direction, and with Kaimana's help, you kind of head in that way, and you do start catching glimpses of like the first sign of like greenish flowers off in the distance, and they seem to be like clumping in pods. Like you start seeing a couple pop up, and then more and more and more of them will pop up in an area, and then they kind of fade off from that area. And you see like one like far off, as far as you can see off in one direction, and then as you keep walking maybe 30-40 minutes on, you see another clump off in another direction, and so you're seeing these greenish flowers, and then but the first leg of the journey, you don't see anything that's dangerous in nature, and you feel like you're kind of choking through pretty blindly. But the further you get away from that twilight crossing, the stronger that sense of being watched is growing.
Cool.
I hope it's not spiders.
No, I would rather it be spiders. We can handle that.
All right.
Miranda, do you know what's watching us?
She kind of pauses for a moment. She's always watching.
It's creepy. Children are creepy.
But we're all right since we're with you.
Oh no.
Sounds about right for us.
All right, let's pick up the pace here. Come on.
What was that, Kaimana?
Was it back there? Was the door back there?
Like 30 minutes
They
or
had
so.
they had a dust that they threw on it. Can we find some of that around here somewhere?
You can roll a perception or investigation check to see if you can locate any dust.
No.
All right.
I know I'm screwed.
All right. So you continue to make your way. Go ahead and make another perception check with advantage, Martin.
22.
22. Okay, so for the second leg of the journey, you start to notice like the trees are shifting and changing, so they're kind of growing a little more gnarled and angry looking in a lot of ways, and the branches almost feel like they're kind of curling down in your direction as you pass underneath them, and there's an oppressiveness to this forest that this one does not feel welcoming, where the summer forest felt much more welcoming of your presence. But that feeling, that being watched feeling, it continues to kind of grow to the point where it almost feels like it's like somebody's standing right over your shoulder, and you kind of look over and there's nothing there, but it's coming from all directions and it's approaching you. There is a moment where you see the silvery threads of spider web in trees up in the upper canopy, increasing in volume the further that Miranda is walking in this direction, but she's not slowing in her progression. And over time, like, the volume of these webs gets greater and greater until, like, on your left there's webs all in the trees on your left, and on your right there's webs all in the trees on your right, and Miranda's leading you seemingly straight into the center of this.
Sure, it's fine.
Are you good to go from here? Or do you still need escort?
It's not too much farther.
Do you usually see the spiders and stuff around here?
Not since I was taken. There was none.
Oh.
Cool. Well,
It's new.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get you home then, so we don't meet any.
All right, go ahead.
And
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. All right, and then go ahead and roll a final perception check for the last leg of the journey.
big money, no whammies.
I have rolled every time. It's been an 18, 19, another 18.
18.
Yeah, so no, it goes up to a 22.
22. All right. So as you're kind of going, like, now, like, the webs are now, we're kind of like in the trees and between the trees and up in the canopy, and they're now starting to kind of like come down almost like a funnel web, right? And Miranda's bounding ahead, and you can kind of see her jumping from space to space, like, very agilely for a child, from where jumping between the webs, and there's a moment where the webs kind of come down through the path and cover the whole path in front of you, so you're looking at it and you're like, we can continue to walk and follow Miranda, and there's a very high probability that we're going to be stepping into these webs. We can't avoid them any further, or I mean, it's kind of up to you how you want to handle that, but you get to a point where your path is now not blocked by the webs, but the whole ground is covered with them as well.
Miranda, why don't we take a detour and just kind of, do you think we'll be good if we just kind of go off the path here for a second and try to move back around?
She looks to the side, and like that whole side is web. So you'd have to like go back to find a break in the web in the trees.
I put a finger to see if the web is sticky.
Okay. So you kind of...
On the ground. I'm not trying to twig one of the ones that's up in the...
Okay, so you kind of touch the web on the ground, and you touch it, and like it's not so sticky that like your hand doesn't pull away, but you do get the feeling that like traveling through here would be a little rough. It might slow you down a little bit.
I
Well,
Let's do it.
all right.
well, this is going to end badly no matter how we do it. So we may as well do it boldly, ticket taker style.
Yeah. Maybe if we're really loud and aggressive about it, they'll be,
Yeah.
frightened.
All right. So you continue forward, and Miranda's like looking at this up to try to catch a glimpse of the sky again, but the web is kind of covering the canopy of the trees, so there's no break. And she's like, I don't. A little bit further, probably. And so she's kind of continuing to go forward. And there's a moment, Mara, like with your view of this, like it's very clearly like a kind of a circular funnel, and you're getting the sense that it's probably about 15 feet wide and probably 10 feet tall or so, this funnel. And it's leading deep in, but then there's a moment where the path that you're walking to the right, it seems to open up more, and you can see fewer webs off to the right, but this funnel, aside from that opening, curves up into the trees to the side, and up to your left, slightly out of your vision. It kind of curves up out of your vision to the left. You can see the funnel continuing that way.
Let's not go that way.
Yeah, and then go ahead and make another perception check for where you get to this stopping spot.
It's a trapdoor spider, the size of a human.
Not really trap door. That'd be more of a trap.
Attic door.
15.
15. Okay. Yeah, that's high enough. So peering through, like you've been watching the webs really closely, but this is the first time like you can see kind of through the webbing. You catch a glimpse, like there's what look like egg sacs, all in this section, like kind of tucked behind the outer web shell. There's egg sacs all over this area. Every single one of them open. None of them still kind of like closed. Every single one of them has broken open.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's Mandalorian, episode 3.
You don't see any spiders still. It's also with a 15. You also notice that like there are those green flowers that you've seen in this forest before, in several places. Around where this web is, you can see like flowers in the webbing, like trapped in the webbing, all in this area, going all the way up into that kind of off turn to the left.
Fuck. Okay. Ooh. Well, keep going, I guess.
You can take the right path to where it starts opening. Okay. Marlo and who?
I will be keeping an eye out behind us once we break off.
Okay. So go ahead and make a perception check for behind. Going with Marlo's 15 perception for what she saw in the front. Marlo and Kaimana, who is aiding Marlo, go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw.
15.
15. 16.
23.
23. Okay, so you take a couple steps, Marlo, and there's a moment where, like, across your chest, you feel something kind of tight and then break. And then you're like, that's weird. And you take another step, and your foot starts to go through the webbing floor. And you jump back for a moment, and you kind of look down and realize that directly in front of you, hard to see because of the amount of webbing that was covering it, there is a good solid like 10-foot hole in this path that goes down, and there's webbing covering most of the hole.
Trapdoor spider.
And you're good, Kaimana, you were able to jump out of the way. So the path is still. The path to the right is a little blocked off. You'd have to go around to the left in order to go around this hole to make it kind of around this hole to the right. But you can now kind of see clearly the shape of a hole in the ground.
Okay, we're going left.
All right. That piece that hit you across the chest, you realize was like a piece of web, and you see it now, and it goes straight into the tunnel to the left.
The alarm. You triggered the alarm.
So you guys are heading left? Okay. So you're curving around, and you get around, I
make sure my gun is loaded.
Okay. You check out your gun and you're loading it. Okay, good. And behind you with a 15, you don't see anything coming. You don't hear anything. This part of the forest is weirdly quiet. Like, it's like almost the webs are absorbing the sound of everything around you. And you get, around to the side of that hole, and there's a couple moments where you have to stop and kind of feel out, like you poke with your rapier to make sure you're stepping on solid ground and not into the hole, because it's hard to make out the edges of this hole. And you get around, and there's finally a moment where you catch a clear glimpse up in that tunnel where that alarm web went, and you're looking up, and there, right in the middle of the tunnel, you're staring straight ahead, and there's nothing there. But this is like, glancing up, you're like, oh god, I know how spiders work, because Mara's terrified of spiders.
I'm not terrified. I've never fought a spider in my life.
You've avoided all your spiders.
I've avoided every single spider.
Yeah, you're looking up, and like, while there were egg sacs, like, 2 or 3 on the outside of this kind of tunnel, looking up, you see like this tunnel goes up into the canopies a ways, and then kind of curves off into a little dome-ish area. In there's probably 12, 13 egg sacs, and every single one of them is open. But there's not a spider in sight.
Dang, I don't think there's any spiders here. And I think I know where they are. I think they went over to our side, and that's where the Spider Queen is. They all fucking went over to our side. That's where the whole spider bullshit came up from.
Yeah.
They ended up.
I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm not. I don't feel great morally about it, but I am grateful in this moment we don't have to deal with that.
And
I'm just glad that no one's going to have to John Hurt this.
Mm-hmm. And there is, like, because you're staring at this very intently, there's a moment where you're like, the closest egg sac that you're looking at is surrounded by those green flowers.
Okay. Remember when we saw it with the beavers? They were corrupted by the flowers, and I saw it before with some wolves. So
yes.
That got on the spiders. So that's why they're probably way jacked up and worse. And that's why the spider problem in the deep wood is as bad as it is.
I would like to examine the flower.
So you kind of have to cross over a little bit. The sticky webbing it holds you back a little bit. It's a little kind of difficult terrain, but you're able to get up to one of the egg sacs where the flowers are. Go ahead and roll a investigation check, or you could roll a nature check.
If something jumps out and hugs your face, you're on your own.
No. I'm on record. This is a bad idea.
Duly noted.
15 nature.
15 nature. Okay, so you're looking at it and you're like, it looks similar. So while the blue flowers were very lily in nature, these are more like dahlias. So they're a slightly different shape in color, very vibrant greenish. And where the pollen would be, all of them that you can see, there's like 3 or 4 flowers around this egg sac. All of the pollen on all these eggs, on all these flowers, is gone.
wondering whether I should pluck it and save it.
Kind of wrapped up in the web, but you could probably cut it out with your dagger if you wanted to.
I'll do that.
Okay. So it doesn't take too much to kind of slash through the webbing around here, and you're able to kind of pull out. It's probably a fist-size flower, and tattered web hanging off of it, but you now have this greenish flower, which now holding it in his hand, Mar, you're looking at it, looks just like the flowers that were on the direwolf.
Oh, the ones that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I grabbed them.
Yep.
Cool.
So you have a green fey flower.
Tying it onto the staff.
All right. So you, you tie it onto the staff there, and it's kind of dangling off the staff with like tendrils of spider web flailing off of it. Absolutely. There you go.
Cool, I'll keep leading us through.
Okay, so you kind of feel your way around that hole, and you make your way out, and once you get to the right, you realize like it's starting to open up, and you're starting to leave the webs behind. But every now and then on the ground, like in the direction that you're moving, you kind of see just like a web start on the ground and then drag off for a little ways and then break off. Almost like the spiders were moving in this direction, and they were kind of just putting down tracking webs or safety webs as they moved. And
can I take note of where they seem to be heading off to, if we ever divert from where they're going?
Yeah, sure. So where Miranda's leading you, they're heading that direction.
Okay.
So if it goes off, I can kind of let you know. So after a moment, Marlo, go ahead and make a perception check for this leg of the journey with advantage from Kaimana's help.
Yeah, okay. Well, my luck had to run out. 11.
11. Okay, yeah, so you're kind of making your way through, and there's a moment where, like, the webs are still... You're kind of focused so much on the webs that you're not necessarily paying attention to everything else around you. And then there's a moment where you kind of step up over a hill, and with 11's enough that you're looking at your feet that you notice like there's a cliff in front of you. So you manage to kind of stop yourself and pull up before you step off the edge of the cliff. And Miranda's standing there next to you, and looking down into what you can kind of see as like a valley in the forest beneath you. And there's a large lake at the center of this valley, and like a creek that heads off in the direction, and you can see like the spiders crawled down this cliff and went that way. And there's something about this lake that seems oddly familiar.
Did I see a lake when I was here before?
You did.
Oh. Aw, it's my old stomping grounds. Cool. I turned to Miranda. Do you need us to get you in the water?
She's kind of looking. I don't know if it's safe.
What do you mean?
I think there's something there.
Is there anything that I can see? In this
You
lake?
can roll like now with her kind of saying, like pointing. Like the lake is probably 250 feet away, 30 or 40 feet down off this cliff, and then a ways away from you. But go ahead and roll a perception check.
21.
So you're looking in the opposite side of the lake from you, where that kind of creek goes through, which, if it's the same lake that you remember, that's the way you came from when you visited from the order hold.
Yeah.
That whole area is swarming with those green flowers, and they also seem to be kind of like growing up to the very edge of the lake, and maybe even in the lake itself on that side. And looking closely, there's a moment where you see like a movement or something beneath the surface causing ripples in the water.
Oh, motherfuck.
Yes, Marlo?
There's something in the water.
There's something in the water.
I don't think it's safe in there. That is an exit to our side. Don't think it's safe to go through there.
And we're standing on the edge of a cliff and could pitch off to our deaths any minute.
Yeah, and with Soros, with your passive perception for sure, you uncomfortably, like, we're focused on the webbing, and so you weren't too clear. But now that you're away from all the spider webbing, and it seems like spiders aren't going to be an issue, you're kind of standing there, and you feel like something's looking at you over your shoulder, and you turn around and there's nothing there. And Marlo, like, that oppressive feeling that you're being watched is like, it's the strongest that it has been since you've entered into the forest.
Do you want to talk to it first, Kaimana?
What would I say?
I don't know. We don't even know what it is. But it's watching.
The thing in the lake or the thing something else?
Oh, she's watching.
So, which one do you want me to talk to?
You can't talk to her.
Okay, so we're not talking to that one. The lake thing, then?
Miranda kind of backs up and hides behind Mar at the edge of the cliff.
How steep is this cliff?
It's 30 feet down, a slight
Oh, I
angle.
jump off.
Yeah. Okay. So you jump off. Just
Going
make a
down.
dexterity check.
Yep, and I'm dexterity check. 15 plus 7, that's 22.
All right, you're good. Come on, are you heading off too?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make a dex check.
6.
6. Okay. Oh God, do you jump off the cliff, Kaimana, or do you like
Yeah.
climb?
Nope.
You jump. Okay, you do take falling damage. So you hit the
I'll
ground.
catch him.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check, a saving throw to see if you can catch Kaimana as he falls.
21.
21. Okay, so you
Plus 7 helps a lot.
you hit the ground like 3-point monk landing, and you hear behind you "Ah!" as Kaimana's falling, and you just kind of reach up and grab, and he's slipping past your grip, and you grab his tail. So it's not a super comfortable save, Kaimana. And let's say just from the stress, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage just from the stress of him stopping your fall. But it could have been a lot worse. But you two are now at the bottom.
I have slow fall, so me jumping off a cliff, it's like even if I take falling, I'm not going to at this height.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, are squishy.
But you did manage to catch him and prevent that. So you two are at the bottom of the cliff. And the edge of this lake is probably about 30 or 40, at this point, like 100 feet further beyond the bottom of the cliff where you are.
I'll walk up to the water.
Okay.
I follow Kaimana.
You just walk up.
I would like to go down this cliff too.
Are you going to climb down?
Yes.
Honestly, I think I'm better off jumping.
Okay. You go ahead and make a jump. Go ahead and make a
Can I put
dexterity.
Miranda on my back before I do this, just to get her down?
Yeah, sure. So you kind of put Miranda up, and as you're going to pick her up to put her on your back, you feel her shifting in your hands, and when you put back, there's just a small, like, little bird, and it's clutched to your thing there, and it's like tweeting in your ear. And so
I give it a little beak pat, but
Yeah.
only if I think no one will see.
Okay. And so you just tap its little beak, and you jump off. Make a dexterity check.
You land on your back.
I mean, she would just fly away, truly. No. 24.
24. Okay, so you are able to lessen the impact of the 30-foot fall. So you only take 3 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall. Little bit of a rough landing because it's just the height, but you don't break your ankles or anything like that.
Truly, my athletic score would have been so much worse if I had tried to climb.
All right, so Abel,
Meanwhile, Abel is the only smart one here who's climbing down.
climbing slowly down the. Okay, go ahead and make a. And Alyria has to do that too. Alyria deftly climbs down, maneuvers almost like she's a trained rock climber, and gets to the bottom of the cliff. And Abel, I'm going to make a strength check or athletics check. Yeah.
It wouldn't be a dexterity. At least
You are not trying to prevent damage from falling. You are trying to climb, so it's strength.
Or
Oh, that's a straight 5.
So you start to go and
The dice are not with me today.
you drop yourself over the edge of the cliff and you're very carefully going, and then there's a moment where you reach out for a handhold, and when you grab it, all you feel is spider web, and you just instinctively and let go, and then your other hand just and you just you fall back, and you land. So let's say you probably fall 20 feet down. So that's 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Are you serious?
You land on your back, and your air is knocked out of your lungs. And Alyria just is if we weren't in danger, I would laugh. Are you okay? And she kind of bends down and offers you her hand to help you up off your feet, or up onto your feet.
I'm just and catch my breath, just wave her away.
Okay. All right. So then,
contemplating even leaving the way.
so come on, and so you walk up to the edge of the lake, and go ahead and make a perception check. Come out now that you're at the lake.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I am looking too.
And so you can roll with advantage, Kaimana. Or you can roll separately if you want to. It's up to you guys.
Your call, Kaimana.
17.
Okay. Did you roll with advantage?
I did.
Okay, cool. All right, so 17. So you get up to the edge, and with your otter eyes that are trained with looking through water, kind of much like an eagle's able to kind of see through the surface of a water, unlike we are, and you are looking across, and there's very clearly a fairly large shape at the center of this lake. It's not a super deep lake, probably 30 or 40 feet deep, but at the center around, you can see this large shape, probably 10 feet wide or so, and there's no air bubbles coming off of it, so it doesn't seem to be breathing under the water, but every now and then it'll shift and move, and the water surface over in that area is kind of displaced and shifting with its movement underneath. It's hard to get a sense of what it is, but you can definitely see that it's there.
How far away is it?
So this lake is probably 75 or 80 feet across. It's not a super big lake. I guess a pond would probably be a better term for it. But 75 or 80 feet across where you are from your bank to the other. It's a little bit longer than it is wide at this point. So the center of the lake is probably 40, 50 feet away.
I would like to throw my magic rock into the water on the far side of the lake.
Okay, go ahead and make a dexterity check to see how far you can chuck it. Or you could do strength if you'd like. I think with you, dexterity is better. Yeah. 11. Okay, so you throw it with all your little otter carefulness, and it flies right into the lake, kind of just beyond halfway, and it sinks for a moment, and then you feel it pop into your pouch, and there's a little poop of water splashing up, and then the ripples are going out from that area, and you're kind of sitting and watching. A moment goes by. Another moment goes by, and it doesn't seem to react or respond.
Again.
Okay. You're aiming further beyond again?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make another a dexterity throw.
20.
20. Okay, so that's better. So you get this a little bit further past, and it again like kind of goes over and poop into the water. Another ripple goes up and splash. After a moment goes by, another moment goes by, and then you see a shift in the shadow in the water, and a element of it kind of rises up, kind of snake-like in a way, and curls up to the surface of the water, and you see it break the water's surface and look over in the direction of where the rock went in, and it's looking over there. And from the back, it's weird. It's kind of like, if you ever seen like the back of a sunflower, it's that, right? It's got that appearance of like a stalk coming up, and then like a frill of colorful petals almost around the outside, like a mane, and it's looking in that direction, and then it kind of turns in your direction. And what you see like full on is, it's really odd. It's a large flower, but at its center is like a beak, and it's kind of looking around, but you don't see any eyes, and it's kind of sensing the air, and then it slowly kind of sinks back down into the water, and you see it kind of, that tendril flower rejoin the mass at the center of the lake.
I don't know what I expected.
The moment it popped up, Miranda behind you, like, you felt her jump off your back as a bird, and then you hear like a feet pattering further back towards the cliff side where you guys had just come from.
Oh, no, I run after her.
Oh, okay, so you run after her. No, that's bad. That shouldn't be here.
I know. We're gonna figure it out. I know it's scary. I've seen some stuff like this before, and we've dealt with it in the past, and we'll find a way to deal with it now, okay?
Okay. Can I stay over here?
Yeah. Just let me know where you're going, okay? You can hang back here.
And you see she kind of points, and like 5 or 6 feet up the side of the cliff face, you see not a cliff, not a cave, but there's like a small opening, and she kind of points there, and then you see like she goes down into a squirrel form and pulls herself up the wall, and then slips into that little alcove.
Cool. I rejoin the group.
Okay. All right.
What you think, Source? Bigger rock?
I think we need a much bigger rock. like the size of that cliff back there.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception check to see if there's anything around you that you can use if you want to try to get its attention.
Oh no, I was talking about something big enough to drop on it and crush it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you roll a perception check and see what's around. You got the cliff behind
11.
you, 11. And you can roll separately, Source, as well. So come on up. Around you, there are some larger rocks that you could potentially use to try to get its attention. Saurus, what you notice is across the lake on the opposite side, you don't see like a large boulder or anything like that, but there's very clearly a shape. It is surrounded by green flowers, kind of like a mounding shape, like that rises up on the edge of the bank. But through the flowers, you catch a glimpse of like alabaster or ivory color bone, and you see it's like a very large, you realize like, oh, it's like a very large skull with an eye socket, but then the rest of it's covered with flowers. And then you're glancing at the form, and about halfway down you see like an exposed rib, and there's parts of skin still attached, like a mangy fur. But the rest of it looks like it's been like cleaned by the flowers growing off of it from this area. But that's all you kind of see in the area. That's not going to be super helpful.
I am going to pluck the flower from my staff and drop it.
Okay, you drop it into the water.
Nope, just getting rid of it.
Okay, so you take and drop it on the ground. Okay, and it hits the ground and it is sitting there. Marlo, you were keeping an eye out for the spider web, so this is there. So you notice that the spider was come off of the cliff, and they're making a very wide. They made a very wide berth around this this lake pond, off onto the other side, and off that direction.
Okay, I'm gonna follow where they went real quick.
All right. So you're moving that way. Are you moving quickly or quietly?
No. Very stealthily.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
What's my stealth? Is it good? Yes, it is. That is a 18.
Okay, good. Yeah, that. Okay. So you quietly move through, and you see like the little like trail of where like a spider touched, put a web, and then walked for 15 or 20 feet, and then released. And you kind of see that curving around, and you get to the other side, and you are peering across, and where they're going, you recognize a very clear kind of pathway opening in the forest, the trees of the forest, and it's an immediate flashback sense of like, this is where Kaliana brought me for my test.
Cool.
And they're heading that way. Yeah.
That, well, great, but also fuck. I come back out and go, so exit is that way, back to the forest. Hopefully the spiders didn't just set up camp right on the other side. Maybe they moved a little bit, but there's a possibility. It's not far from the border. I think I should be able to get us back to where we know.
Yeah, let's not mess with this.
Well,
I would agree.
are we taking? What are we doing? We can't deal with this on our own, right? I think we're all agreed.
Right.
I don't know about that.
What do you want to do?
Well, I want to check around the lake. This seems to be some kind of sentient plant thing. I'm guessing it's a side effect of the flowers growing into the water. So I'm going to see if there are vestiges of this, that basically it's something from land that has gone into the water, that we could assault it up here and make it come to us.
Okay, so you want to kind of go over, so where the side of the lake that you guys are on is fairly clear of flowers. They seem to be growing off the opposite side and spreading around over there. So you want to head on to the opposite side of the lake?
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way around. Are you moving stealthily, or are you just going to go that way?
Yeah!
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
That's a natural one, so I roll a stealth of 8.
Okay. Okay. Just looking at what I roll. All right, so you make your way.
You see Marlo just like, I can still see you.
Yeah, so you're like moving
Really?
carefully, and like there's like you take a step, and like there's a twig that snaps under your foot. And you're like, ah, shit, and you're like, okay, I need to be more careful. And then you immediately like take another step onto like another twig, like it snaps into your foot.
At a certain point, I'm just like, oh, the hell with it, and I just start walking.
Okay, good. So you just start going, which hilariously, like, I'm just rolling just general perception to see if anything around you is whatever, and I also rolled a natural 1. So if anything is around, like if that creature is being perceptive, it's a 1. So you get over there, and so what you kind of, and go ahead and roll a, like, are you looking very, very closely, or you just want to see if anything's amiss on this side?
I want to get first general impression.
Okay, so general impression, go ahead and roll a perception check first. Yeah.
That's a 12.
12, okay. So kind of looking at this and having encountered like these flower fields before, you're kind of looking at this, and it seems like there were some flowers growing in the forest. And then there's very clearly like a straight line of flowers that are growing in the direction of this carcass, and then they exploded in growth around the carcass, and then started to spread out from the carcass around the lake. And then as you're kind of glancing, you can only see faintly like a few that are growing beneath the water, but for the most part, just growing around the edge of the water. You don't see any like large massive root system or anything like that heading into the water there.
I walk back around to the party.
Okay.
Yes, Marlo?
I don't have a theory. Well, I do, but I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that there's the carcass over there that has spurred the growth of these flowers, which, if we clear the thing out in the middle of the lake, would not be good for Miranda. So, bodies burn, so I'm thinking somebody should set it on fire and burn the flowers around it as well, which could either be very good or very bad, depending on what gets released into the air. Two, that should attract the attention.
They do explode. I can confirm. They do.
Which would get the attention of whatever's in the lake, so we could get a better look at it without being in direct line of fire. And then we could figure out whether to run or stay and fight from there.
Hear me out. If we are further back away from it, and maybe Kaimana does the stone thing again to get its head up, I have that jar that little dude Tog gave us of the fire.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe if anything's gonna do some damage on this thing, that could.
I also have a jug of alchemical fire, so if one will not be enough, I can add mine as well.
Yeah, might as well. It feels like now is the time to try it.
And I could hit it with mayonnaise from my
I knew the mayonnaise plan would
Quite
come
a
from that.
contribution, yeah.
Thank you.
It may be allergic.
Mm-hmm. Eggs,
mean-
common allergy.
Or can you do oil out of that flask?
Well, maybe peanut butter. No, you can't do it. I can do oil though.
Yeah.
Because you could put oil out there, we get its attention, it comes up, and then we put flame on it, and the surface of the water starts burning as well.
Do we pollute Miranda's home if we do that? I feel maybe that's a little morally fucked up to do in front of her.
Well, it will burn off.
Yeah, we don't want to go to the nuclear option, yeah.
All right.
We had
Or
to
we
destroy the village in order to save it.
Yes. Or if it starts to come ashore, you hose it down with the oil, and we relight it from there.
I bet just try to get it out of the water, so if it does catch on fire, it doesn't go back underneath and just put the flames out.
It doesn't have eyes. My guess is it's relying on hearing,
Movement.
right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so it's listening to us. So we're gonna have to make noise as a distraction.
That's
Oh,
never been a
okay.
problem for us.
No, we're excellent at it. Truly, this couldn't go better for us.
Okay, is this the plan?
It's a bad one, so yes.
I mean, if anyone's got anything else, I'm very willing to hear it. This was a first draft. I don't love committing to it, but
I think this is probably the best we would come
We
up
get
with.
its attention
Yeah.
and see what happens, and we can always run screaming if we have to.
the exit's that way. If we have to run, hey Miranda, we're gonna try something really dumb. If it doesn't work and we start running, just bird form, come with us, okay?
You don't hear a response, but
I'm gonna trust you heard me and you're comfortable with this. Thanks, kid.
Yeah, making our move.
okay.
Okay. Do I still have my force ballista up?
You had it
Has
up
it been
during
an
the
hour?
The fight, yeah, it's you guys were walking for at least over an hour.
Okay, well, I'm gonna use a spell slot and make a flamethrower
Okay.
instead.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, now is the time.
Okay.
So I have my flamethrower now.
Point of order, since we're obviously going to do something really, really stupid, do we want to stop here and pick up next session?
It's up to you all. You could see where it takes you in the next 10 minutes, or you can.
I want to
Let's
see if
try
we
it.
can
I
do
want to see.
this.
I want to see how this goes at least, because we
Okay.
might be able to pick up on the worst cliffhanger ever.
All right. Okay. So you guys are you? So somebody heading towards the carcass to douse it in oil? Was that what you're doing, or is it just purely getting its attention first?
I
We
think we
want
got
to
to get
get
its
it-
attention.
Yes.
Purely getting its attention. So
Okay.
I'm going to pick up a bigger rock,
Yeah, I'm gonna use. I
this
want
sized. And,
use
pardon?
Mage Hand and see if I can get like a rock or two. Also.
Yeah, we need distance from this thing.
yeah, I was going to chunk it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get like I have like a little small metal compass size mechanism. I'll put in the palm of my hand and I cast my Mage Hand. And I'm gonna just pick up a handful of rocks and see if we can toss them.
Well, you
Where
can
should I-
drive the
what-
mage hand out over
Yeah.
30 feet out on the
30
lake and then
feet, yeah.
drop them.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Like, should I toss it at him or like somewhere on the shore?
It's a little
where it'll drop.
hard to like make an attack roll with a mage hand, so throwing it with the mage hand would be difficult. However,
taking it- Just dropping.
The-
some up and like
yeah, the mage
drop
hand
it.
can hold up to 10 pounds, and a 10-pound
Mhm.
rock would be fairly large in size.
So I think what you want to do is just get it so it's when it comes up to find that noise, so it's not facing directly at us, right?
Yes.
But then we can come around from the side and just start throwing stuff at it.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take the Mage Hand and
Okay.
30 feet out, kind of on the shore away from us, still on the shore, but 30 feet away. I'll find a roughly 10-pound rock and I'll kind of splash it up and down in the water at the shore.
Okay,
Like towards the shore.
so 30 feet. The best option that you guys have is if you guys are on like this side of the shore, the other shore is at least 60, 70 feet across. It's in the middle, around 30 feet. So your best bet would be to on the same shore that you're on, but 30
Just
feet
further down.
30 feet
Yeah.
off to the
Yeah, that's what I
side.
mean. Just
Okay.
On our, but away from us,
Okay.
30 feet further
So-
down the shore.
So you start
I'm taking the
splashing
rock.
it up and down. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you. I've been writing down all of my. I'm gonna tell you what my perception rolls have been for this damn thing, because it's literally been a 2, a 1, a 4, a 3, a 2, a 2. This dice is getting like I'm gonna burn this dice.
The water's cold. It's
I-
No.
I think Miranda
I
could live
believe.
here just fine and not be noticed.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if it continues to roll
It'll
those
be
perception
fine,
checks, it'd be fine. All right, so you start splashing and you get like you see the ripples kind of going across the water, and like there's not an immediate reaction from the creature. Anybody want to add
ahead.
to what Abel's doing
I cast magic stone on that rock.
on the one that Abel's got?
Yes.
Okay, so now like there's this force like much stronger than what the mage hand is able to do, slamming into the water. Seriously, a 9, but its perception
That'll work.
is a +6. So
Yeah,
so
it's pretty
15.
bad.
So this time, like immediately, like much quicker than last time, you see like that tendril kind of come up and pop up and look over off. You guys are over here on the left, and it looks over to the right, and it's seeing. It can't see the mage hand, but it sees a rock hitting the water and splashing the water, and then
This is
kind of
invisible.
5 feet off to the side, you see another of these kind of stalks pop up with the beaked flower face, kind of look over, and it looks off in that direction. And then kind of 5 feet off a little bit further, you see another one pop up. And so now there's 3 flower kind of heads kind of looking around. One is very, like, they're all 3 are different in color and flower type. The first one you saw was kind of like a dahlia flower. It was like the kind of the beautiful kind of rounded flower. One was, let me see what the options are here. I don't want to name it properly because the abilities are named after it. So, like one's like an azalea, so like this beautiful kind of purplish pink kind of crown around its beak, and then the other one is like a daisy, like whitish petals around it, and it's so now you've got these three heads kind of like bobbing and looking in that direction over where that rock is, and you start to see movement in the bottom of the lake as the larger shadow is shifting in that direction, moving fairly slowly, like 5 or 6 feet, and then those three snake heads get there, or not snake heads, but like snake-ish heads get there, and then you see how many do I have? Yeah, and then you see a fourth one pop up in the back, and it is it's an ivy, like an ivy, not an ivy. What am I saying? My font is so small. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna make the font small so I can get everything on one page, and then it was not. A lily. So it's like a lily head pops up, and it's a little bit larger than the other three heads. And so now you've got these kind of three kind of tendrils kind of looking that direction. And finally, like the daisy one kind of leans in over there to where the rock is, and like hits it with its beaked mouth, and the rock gets kind of pushed to the side. All right, what are you still doing with it?
Okay, I want to see if I can lift the rock up over its head.
Yeah.
And drop it.
Okay, so you lift up with the mage hand, and the beak like goes to hit where it is again, and just kind of splashes into the water, and then you lift it up and drop.
To hit.
Right. Go ahead and roll just an attack roll. Just you use your intelligence plus your proficiency.
My intelligence.
Yeah, I just want to see like how accurately are you dropping it into the center of this mass.
Okay, you said intelligence
plus proficiency, because you are proficient with your spell.
It's a 10.
10. So you kind of like, so the way that the vines are set up, they are very clearly kind of making like 4 points of a circle, and so you kind of just go to the center of that circle and drop, which is kind of the center of the shadow mass beneath, and you watch the rock, empowered by the magic stone spell, release from the mage hand and shoot down into the water. What's the damage on magic stone, Kaimana?
I think it is 1d6 plus 4.
1d6 plus 4. So since it's a large stone and was aided by Abel's use of the mage hand spell, Abel, roll 3d6.
Oh shit.
This. Oh.
And you're dropping it from height, so it gets some momentum behind it.
I don't add any of my spell stuff to this, right?
Well, we're going to add the plus 4 from Kaimana because it's his spell.
3D. Oh, I put 4. I keep clicking, stuff keeps coming up.
I like the 4. I'm good with 4.
3d6. Right? Is that what you said? 3, a 3, and a 2. So 8 points plus 4. 12.
12 points of bludgeoning damage. Okay. All right. So the rock, you release it, and you expect it to just kind of fall, but the moment you release it, literally like shoots down into the water. And there's this moment it gets into the water, and you see all the water cave in around it, and then up around it, and shoot up into the air, right in the middle of these 4 tendrils, and they all kind of start wheeling around, and then you see them kind of shudder and retract a little bit, and they both, like the first the daisy, and then the azalea, and then the
Lily.
The lily's last, but then the lily finally dips down beneath the water, and you see the entire shifting mass of that creature go beneath, and out of the center where you dropped the rock, you see a very large, massive, kind of almost like a Venus flytrap type head rise up out of the water, and then this tendril on its shoulder you see whip around, and it's the daisy, and then the other one whips around and it's the azalea, and then the other one whips around and it's the marigold, and then the lily is higher up on its neck and is up kind of up in this area, and they're whipping around trying to see the source of this, and it takes one step forward and another step forward. And it's weird because, Mar, you've definitely been exposed to like beasts of the world before, and from about its waist down, you're like, that's a fucking hydra. But from the waist up, it's a plant. So it's got like the lower body half. Yeah, it's the lower body half. It kind of has the body shape of a hydra, kind of like that tail, like that long undulating kind of snake shape. With like
We've discovered the truth about Nessie.
Yeah,
That's why no one can find it.
Yeah, with a couple of stubby feet. But where you would expect to see the rest of its body, it's almost as if it's being slowly devoured and eaten away by this new plant-like creature that's taking hold.
Oh wow!
And
you think the plant is gonna make it more docile?
And it's walking in the direction of where, like, it's making its way to shore, where Abel's rock was. It's seeking out its prey, and so we'll go ahead and pick up with the explosion of this Hydra-like creature next week.
Hey, there's one head for each of us.
Yeah,
It's
4
easy.
heads.
Well,
Well, there's 4, like there.
Yep.
The
And
four
the main
four
one.
head-like things, and then like the main head. I
So
don't.
my plan is I'm gonna put my flamethrower on someone's shoulder
Mhm.
and be as far away
I
as
don't.
possible.
I don't have like a good. I didn't want to use like a hydra because it's not really a hydra, but it definitely gives the impression of being a hydra. I didn't want to give like, but this is kind of what you see rising up out of the water there.
Okay.
Yeah, with the tendrils.
Triffic.
With the little flower
Yeah.
tendrils.
trifid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we'll pick up there next week and see. I mean, if you decide to fight it or if you decide to flee, we'll see where that goes. But we'll see
Maybe
you
a
all
little bit of both.
next week. Yeah, it might be a little bit of both.
Yeah, I do need a week to decide on that.
A solid week
Yep.
of contemplation.
All right.
Jesus.